Hello, my name is Beate Ebert. I'm a clinical psychologist and a peer-reviewed ACT trainer from Germany. And I would like to thank everybody who organized this conference. And I would like to thank you for being at this talk. And I hope it will be useful for you, especially for finding out together how we can foster pro-social action in all areas. And you will see how we use our pro-social tools in an area like female genital mutilation, which is a medical and social and cultural problem in Sierra Leone. And you will also see how we could use it in our own cultures and countries regarding COVID, or even regarding any other challenge we are facing as communities. Related to the topic today, I would like to share some of the medical and social problems we are facing in Sierra Leone. There is traditional gender-based violence. 90% of the women underwent female genital mutilation. There is also a high rate of rape and other violence against women and girls. Poverty is rampant. Sierra Leone has an income per person from about 510 euros per year, compared to Poland, 18,000, or Germany, 45,000. There are insufficient health structures. There are no psychologists, no psychiatrists. There are 6 dentists for 8.6 million people, just to give you a few figures. And all of that leads to people often being sick and dying early, and life expectancy is 15 to 20 years lower than in Poland or in Germany. And besides the heartbreak that means for the families and also for us when we lose staff, it means that expertise gets lost, and like all the training we invested into people. I would like to come to the main topic for the first part now, female genital mutilation, and I did an interview with Hannah Boccari in Sierra Leone on that.
So how can you fight medical issues with behavioral change or behavioral methods? When you look at most medical issues, they are related to behaviors and to necessary behavior change. When you have diabetes, you need to eat differently. When you don't want to get infected with Ebola, you need to keep distance from other people. When you get cancer, you need to undergo very difficult treatments, and behaviors like connecting those actions you need to take to something valuable for yourself have been shown to improve the medical results. So there's a lot in that we can bring as behavioral change experts, as behavioral therapists. I have an expert here in behavioral change, especially in her country. This is Hannah Boccari, country director of Commit and Act Foundation, Sierra Leone. And she has done a lot in the time of Ebola to fight the spread of the virus very successfully. And there's a great video on Vimeo you can look up if you're interested in that. But I would like to ask you now, Hannah, what are the health issues you see in your country, or maybe an example for a health issue in your country that you can improve with behavioral methods?
Yeah, so in Sierra Leone, some of the health issues that we normally work with and we improve with the issue of behavior change is the issue of female genital mutilation. It has so much impact, health implication to the life of the youngest women that are part of it. And so in our culture, it's a sensitive topic. It's a topic that is a traditional and topic that you cannot just talk about easily. And so we use the pro-social approach to engage communities in Sierra Leone, in different communities, in different chiefdoms, where we talk about these issues and try to help communities to identify the issues that is attached. We will do a lot of information related to the negative impact of female genital mutilation. And so the people are aware. At the end of the day, they choose to change their behavior and go towards what matters to them. And some of the things that they identified during our engagement is that they want to see their grandchildren going to school. So it's about promoting grandchild education instead of FGM, which has medical implications. And so our people focus on that. And so they try to use the pro-social approach to build communities and to work together to look at those issues and see how best they can take steps that can go towards what matters to them, which is the grandchild being educated. They even sometimes set examples on me being an educated young woman and then impacting many lives with the team, the community and our team in the different locations. So it is really something that is key and it's important for us to look at that.
Great, thank you.
Hannah said it is a sensitive topic, FGM in Sierra Leone. And a couple of years ago, you would not even dare to mention this to anybody. But Hannah and her staff, they had courageous conversations and they listened to the stakeholders in the communities, to parents, and to the Zoe women. These are the ones who are executing FGM. And in the end, Hannah and her people, together with the German doctors who are funding this project, they developed a program to change this culture. Thousands of girls and families wanted to be part of this program, which had only 600 spaces. And even the Zoe women's daughters applied for the program, and the Zoe women agreed. And they took part in the pro-social workshops Hannah offered to provide a space to find something new for people. And this is really amazing when you look at the different points of view. I think we would all agree with the WHO point of view that FGM is an injury to the female genital organs. It is a cruel action and a grave violation of the human rights of girls and women. For a person raised in the traditional Sierra Leonean culture, this would look very different. For a Zoe woman, FGM means preparing a girl for all the responsibilities of a married woman. It would mean to include her into the only environment where women in Sierra Leone have the power. It would mean that the girls are safe financially and that they can provide food to their own family. And it would also mean to secure a livelihood for the Zoe's own family. Zoe women told us that they were chasing NGOs out of their district who tried to touch on FGM and who tried to change it. And now they took part in the pro-social workshops. So something worked here. And I would like to look at what is Commit and Act, at what Commit and Act is doing differently. Using the pro-social principles means giving relevant information. It means providing a space to get in touch with pain, with values, and with conflicts regarding this topic. And it means creating concrete actions to achieve goals derived from the values. In the end, it means to give a free choice to people. And the common process is decisive. If you think you know the results before, no more FGM, this is not it. The results that come out of a true process are not accessible for our thinking mind before they happen. When you think of the banana trunk, some of you might know this story. When people were faced in the Ebola crisis with that conflict we can either touch our dead relatives and honor them after they died and do the traditional ceremonies, or we cannot touch them and stay safe. And that was really difficult for them in their culture. They created this transformational metaphor of the banana trunk that meant they could touch a banana trunk instead the dead relatives and execute all the relevant ceremonies with a banana trunk. You could not do that from outside or find that out from outside. That has to come from this process. When you get in touch with the pain, with the values and the conflict, then new things happen. And participants need to be open to the process and that there is a common solution possible. I tried to demonstrate a matrix that could come out of an FGM process. And on the left side, you can see the fear or the pain of parents, like my girl will not have power and command if she's not part of the Bundu society. That means she's part of FGM. She will feel left out and not valued in her community. That means continue initiating, continue doing FGM. But with the new information people got and with the free space to look at everything, they could get in touch with their values that were that girls should have a livelihood. They should have education. They should have power and be leaders, but maybe in a new way. Also like continuing to associate, but in a new way. And the actions the girls took on, the parents and the Zoes took on were to serve as role models. And what the girls did was to cut their hair like that, very short, and to demonstrate, I am part of this new society. I am part of my body, my right. And that was very powerful. It created a new style, and every girl wants to be part of that now. And the Zoe women stepped back and they started to take out a harmful part of the whole ceremony of initiation. And this also meant to keep the bylaws, because there are clear laws and bylaws that FGM is not allowed in Sierra Leone. So what happened when I came there last November, that the Zoe women and all the village received us like so happy to celebrate this new approach. And the Zoe women, they laid down their knives to our feet. And this was like one of the best moments in my life. And it was unthinkable before, even for Hannah, that this could happen. I would like to move this whole topic to a more familiar topic for us in our countries, to the COVID pandemic. I interviewed Hannah for that shortly too, what that means in Sierra Leone.
Maybe are there other health issues? Are you dealing with COVID in your country? Anything about that?
Yes, so the other health issue that we were faced with is the issue of the COVID, which breakouts in Sierra Leone. And so it's also medical, but it also has some part of behavior change. And I look at behavior change to be something that's a choice. It's a choice for you to walk towards what matters to you. I want to be healthy. I don't want to catch COVID. There's a specific behavior that I can put into that, where wearing my masks in public places, giving the distance to people, also even talking to others about the infection. So it's about behavior change. And so what we did in Sierra Leone that combats the issue of COVID, we work on the preventive measures of COVID, was to also use the pro-social approach, which is the 8 design principles that we use in different communities, and looking at best practices as well to help our people with the infection of COVID. And today we are having 0 infection.
I'm not sure how your experience was in Poland. But in Germany, I did not experience much of a choice, like Hannah said. There were strong opinions on all sides about COVID and how to fight it, or if it's existing at all. It was pro-mask, pro-lockdown, pro-vaccination, or against all of that, or something in between. There were fuzzy regulations from our government and lots of different rules in different areas. And a lot of steering happened with fear instead of values. So how can you have a free choice with those incompatible positions, like you are endangering my health and the health of our society by not getting vaccinated, or you take away my freedom and my physical autonomy by forcing me to wear a mask and to get vaccinated? And we know when people are feeling threatened, they go to this emergency mode, which means we have this strong focus. There's not much creativity, no freedom, just automatic patterns, flight and fight mode. And I tried to picture how it could look like if we could bring those parties together in a pro-social workshop. If we could find common values, for example. I think we could, like caring for health, or autonomy and integrity, or the freedom to choose our actions, securing a good future, or respecting different views. And on the other side, there's also pain. There is, I want to do what's right for me. I'm scared, I feel threatened, I feel dominated, all of that. And what we do when we are in that mood, we devalue the other point of view, or we ignore information that does not fit our own point of view. And I wonder what would be on the upper right side. But we can't know because we have not done that. And as I said earlier, the common process is decisive. So you only can access it by touching the pain, by touching the values, by touching the conflict. And participants need to be open that something new is possible. I think it's worth it. And I think we could achieve so much more, even if it seems like a big effort to do that. But I could picture that for schools, for example, doing pro-social workshops with the teachers, the students, parents, in all areas. You can imagine where those questions need to be defined. And of course, we need government regulations. But all these regulations have to be more closely defined in the certain areas. And when people are not convinced and not enrolled that it's a good regulation, they will undermine it. So I think it's worth trying. And I found a lot of what I told you and what we found out what works as Commit and Act in a talk given by Julia Fiebig in San Francisco at the last World Conference. She called it the heart of the matter, language and connection for sustainability. And what she says is we need to build cooperative contexts with curiosity, empathy, compassion, and humility. Does that sound relieving? We need to break down a problem to a level where we can grab it, where we can relate it to our own daily life, to our own problems, to our own pain, to our own needs. Then we develop an interest. We can look at what's valuable for me in this area. And we can start to build motivation. And appetitive control, where do I want to go to, is so much more empowering than aversive control. All the terrible things that will happen when we don't do that, this does not lead to much behavior change. We need to show a pathway for actions and to involve peers. We are so more likely to do new actions when our peers are doing it too. And we need to monitor the progress. It's so important that my actions matter, that somebody is looking at them, and that others are doing the same actions, and that I'm not alone, and we are a community doing that. So all those points will help us to move forward pro-social action. Would you like to learn more about prosocial. Oh, there's one more thing. There's a metaphor Hannah's father taught her. And this metaphor says, one stick can easily be broken, but together sticks are much stronger. And this is a great book from Paul Akins and others about prosocial if you want to learn more about it. And I also attached the vision I developed many years ago that brought me to Sierra Leone if you are interested in that. And thank you very much for your interest.